Hello, all, and welcome to this Friday afternoon's beer review. So, we're not reviewing what you see down here. This is a birthday present for me from my father. So, yeah, you'll see some reviews for that, but we are reviewing something else that is related because it is now rapidly approaching October, which is pumpkin beer season. And yeah, so pumpkin beer is kind of hmm, what's the word I'm looking for here? Pumpkin beer is kind of on the tip of my tongue. On the tip of my tongue. Well, yeah, pumpkin beer is kind of polarizing. There we go. It's kind of polarizing because many craft beer drinkers hate it and some love it. Uh, I have a fond affection for it because pumpkin beer is basically what got me into craft beer, like, geez, almost 20 years ago. So I've been constantly looking for that Etten Arcadia Ego Pumpkin Ale that really triggered me into like exploring craft beers. Right after I drank those pumpkin ales, I tried Trappist Belgian ales, and it just kept on rolling on from there. I've never been able to find that particular pumpkin ale that really set me off on that beer journey ever again. And I'm still looking for a pumpkin ale which is gourd forward. So that one, the spices were very much second note to the pumpkin notes of the ale. And that is usually not the case for pumpkin ales, particularly this one. So I've reviewed this before, and I didn't give it a very positive review. Um, uh, this is, of course, from the box set from my father, and he likes it. So there are people that like this, kind of leading into something here. So this is 4.4 ABV. This is Jacko Pumpkin Ale from Sam Adams, Boston Beer Company. Let's read back now, shall we? Perfect fall beer. Jacko's cinnamon and nutmeg aromas recall memories of freshly baked pumpkin pie. It has the ideal balance of seasonal spices with a crisp, refreshing finish. This pumpkin ale pairs perfectly with the transition of summer into cooler days and nights. Now, it is not cool right now because the trade winds have died down, so it is stultifyingly humid at 84 degrees right now at 5:30 in the afternoon, thereabouts. So, yeah. Well, without much further ado, let's just go and pour this one out, shall we? I'm one of the most long-winded people who reviews beers on YouTube. Most of these guys, who I watch, they get it done in like 5 minutes or less. And I struggle to keep it under 20 minutes because I like talk. I'm in love with the sound of my own voice, I guess. Okay, so we kind of have an opalescent, um, amber yellow thereabouts. Very nicely carbonated, with a thick, fluffy off-white head. It smells of cinnamon and cinnamon. Where's the nutmeg? Got cinnamon and cinnamon. Okay, maybe there's a touch of nutmeg and allspice in there, but it is really dominated by the cinnamon. Underneath that, you get a hint of sweet malts, and you definitely don't get any pumpkin in the nose. It is very much pumpkin spice, with the spice in question mostly being dominated by cinnamon. Okay, onto the palate now, shall we? It is light-bodied and yet cloyingly sweet up front. That's what does it in for me. This this one, and this is what does it in for me. It's just that sweetness. You have sweetness up front, kind of diminishes. You get a sense of kind of um, biscuity malts, a slight hint of pumpkin gourd in the mids. I can't catch any hopping in this at all. Maybe just a little bit of bitterness is kind of covered up by that residual sugar in the mid to finish. In the finish, you're left with a kind of sweetness on the palate. You got cinnamon and sugar for the top note. It's just so sweet. Multiple reviews of this kind of go and knock it for being, I quote, pumpkin pie soda. But that's basically what it is. It's so soda-like in its sweetness, you know, and you're basically getting the spice and sugar, and because of that, with the malting very far in third place there. Just malting kind of being whatever barley they used in this, plus the pumpkin, it's very hard to kind of distinguish them from each other within this underneath all that sugar, or should I say residual sweetness. Because I don't think they added sugar to this. I just think that they didn't really let it ferment. They didn't let a lot of that sugar ferment out at 4.4 ABV. That's my theory anyway. When you're left with pumpkin pie soda. Now, if you like pumpkin pie soda, you'll probably like this. If you're looking for a pumpkin ale, on the other hand, like I am, and particularly a pumpkin ale in which the pumpkin comes first, followed by the spice, and honestly, the pumpkin, it's more about mouthfeel and top note than nosing. you know, then you're going to be let down by this, and I'm let down by this. So yeah, Samuel Adams, Jacko, Pumpkin Ale. Not good a few years ago when I reviewed this. Not good now. But if you like pumpkin pie soda, well, this is so lightly alcoholic it might as well be pumpkin pie soda. And that, folks, is your beer review for this afternoon. Cheers. I'd just like to note that, like, the Flannel Fest was just amazing, and this is like the complete opposite of it. It's like it's pumpkin pie soda, dudes. That's all, folks. Cheers.